All right. So we're trying something totally new today. I'm going to be doing my podcast that I normally do, and I'm trying a couple different things, and we're gonna see how it works. Um, so I have this podcast recording live on TikTok, as well as I'm recording it to put on YouTube, and the audio will also be available on my website. So a couple different ways you can listen to this podcast and see it in the future. So and you'll have to forgive me. I'm still getting over this horrible flu, and I swear if I can kick this cough, I'll be fine. So today we're talking today is Teaching Tuesday. And if you've listened to my other podcasts or anything before, Tuesdays we talk about homeschool related stuff. So, and I've got three different screens here. I'm going to try to manage comments. If you have a comment, if you're watching live, go ahead and drop it below. Otherwise, and I'll try to keep an eye on it. And let's hope I can get through with this cough. So today we're going to be talking about five different things. So it's the Homeschool 101, a beginner's guide. If you are new to homeschooling, then this is the one to listen to. So the five things we're going to be talking about today. Number one, pros and cons of homeschooling. Number two, options for homeschooling. Number three, selecting and adapting curriculum to fit your family. Number four, designing a homeschool routine. And number five, activities and adventures for learning. So, with that, let's get started with number one, pros and cons of homeschooling. So, I'm going to start first, and we're going to talk about the cons because I always like to end on a happy beat. So, some of the cons of homeschooling are your time and commitment. So, homeschooling demands a significant amount of time, your commitment from parents. You're both the educator and the parent, right? The caregiver. So that can potentially impact your work and your personal time as well. So there is a time commitment to it. You have limited socialization opportunities. Homeschoolers may have fewer opportunities for daily social interaction with peers, so that requires intentional efforts to ensure socialization. So getting your kids involved, whether it's dance or sports or things like that, it's really important to have those socialization opportunities for them. Potential for burnout. Parents may experience burnout due to the continuous responsibility of teaching, planning, and managing their child's education. Resource availability. Homeschooling may require financial investment in educational materials, resources, and activities depending on the chosen approach. So, those are some of the cons. Oh, sorry, couple more. Lack of specialized instruction. So, parents sometimes face challenges providing specialized instruction in certain subjects, especially as children progress at higher grade levels. We've all had those times when you're helping your kids do their math homework and you're like, what the heck? I have no idea they teach this so weird. I can do it, but I don't know if I can teach it, right? Um, Assessment and documentation. Homeschoolers may need to navigate assessment and documentation requirements, including standardized testing, record keeping, just depending on your local regulations. And lastly, limited extracurricular offerings. So, access to extracurricular activities such as sports, specialized programs, they may be limited compared to in traditional school settings. Now, let's go to the pros. The pros of homeschooling. Customized learning. Homeschooling allows for personalized and tailored learning experiences, addressing individual learning styles, interests, and pacing. I love this because do you remember like being in school and there's some subjects that you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so boring, so stupid, and you hate learning about it. And then there's other subjects that you're like, I love this, and you could learn about it for 3 months and still have interest in it. With homeschooling, you have that ability to focus on those strengths or those interests that your child has. Flexible schedule. Homeschooling provides flexibility in scheduling, allowing families to create a routine that suits their lifestyle and accommodates varied learning opportunities. The flexible schedule, I love having a flexible schedule with homeschool. It's so great to not be on, you can plan your vacations, your trips, things like that that you want to do with your children. You're not bound by their school schedule. And a lot of times you can do your schooling on a trip. You can take it with you. So, excuse me. Closer family bonds. Homeschooling can strengthen family bonds as parents actively participate in their child's education, fostering a close-knit and supportive learning environment. Also, having your children teach their siblings. It gets that bond, and the best way to learn something is to teach it. Individualized attention. With a lower student to teacher ratio, homeschooling allows for more individualized attention, helping children grasp concepts thoroughly. But basically, you're getting that one-on-one ratio. A lot of times in public schools, you're going to have one teacher to 30 students. And they don't, sometimes they may have a question and they're embarrassed to ask or whatever in front of everybody. When it's a one-on-one or one-on-three ratio, you can get a lot more learning done. Diverse learning experiences. Homeschoolers have the flexibility to explore various learning methods, including field trips, real world experiences, hands on projects, enhancing the educational journey. So again, when you're homeschooling, you have control of that. If you want to immerse your children into a field trip, you want to do something, and instead of just reading out of a book, you're going to watch a video, you're going to go on site, you're going to make a recipe, you're going to build something, whatever it is, you have a lot more of that. Excuse me. Avoid negative influence. Homeschooling allows parents to create a controlled environment and avoid potential negative influences that may be present in traditional school settings. That's something for us that was really important. We've had our older children did public school and our younger ones are homeschooled. And I can't tell you how many times the older kids came home and some of the stories that they told us, that things that they witnessed or things that another kid told them. And you're just like, oh, I wish my kid wasn't exposed to that. Flexibility in curriculum. Families can choose or create a curriculum that aligns with their educational philosophy, values, and the child's interests. That is one of my favorite things about homeschooling is we can take what we feel is important. And there's been some things with our local school district, they've had curriculum changes and things that I just didn't agree with. That's when we started homeschooling. And just the values and different things like that I didn't agree with. And so homeschooling, we can take that and we can say, okay, we're going to focus more on history and science or whatever we want. And again, go to the child's interests. All right, so that's pros and cons of homeschool. Number two, options for homeschooling. So there's different types of homeschooling, and you may not know this. I think a lot of people think of homeschooling as just kind of a one thing. Either, I think a lot of times people envision it as the kids that stay home watching TV all day and they never learn anything and they don't have any social skills and they're like the weird kids, right? And or they just think of, I don't know, there's a lot of stigma on homeschooling, but there's different types of homeschooling. You can do a completely unique and individualized homeschool. You create your curriculums, you use different curriculums that you agree with, things like that. There's groups and co-ops. So there's co-ops and groups for homeschooling where you basically, local areas sometimes have homeschooling groups similar to something like a Joy School for preschool. You may have heard that, where parents rotate days and they teach all the kids in the group on their day, and they rotate subjects, things like that. Co-ops such as like Commonwealth is what it's called in my area. There's one called Commonwealth. They homeschooling families, they get together, they one day a week, they create their own type of school with classes and age groups, and then the parents teach different age groups. And the whole co-op does group activities together. So it's great for social skill building. Um, when you have your completely unique and individualized, you're creating or assembling the curriculums. So if you don't know where to start, you can check out my educational guide behind me here. It's on my website, a to z for moms.com. It goes first or kindergarten through 8th grade, and it literally has the standards of everything that a student should know in that grade, what they should learn in that grade, helps keep them on par with peers in the event that maybe they do return to public school, or just social and emotional learning standards. The last type of homeschool, so we got unique and individualized groups or co-ops. The last one is a half and half. And that basically is your hybrid, right? Some people do a mixture of both. They participate in a homeschool group or co-op as it fits their schedule, and then they also do their own curriculum and activities the rest of the time. Homeschool is there's a lot of ways to do homeschooling. So I like I said, a lot of people have that stigma. They envision what homeschooling's like, and it really can be so different. When it comes to funding, so more and more states are starting to offer funding for homeschool families. Depending on the state, it may be called something like Educational Scholarship Account or Educational Scholarship Fund, so ESA or ESF. Family Empowerment Scholarship, that's in Florida. Empowering Parents Program, that's in Idaho. Learns Act, that's in Arkansas. Utah Fits All Scholarship, that's in Utah. Hope Scholarship, that's West Virginia. Education Savings Account, that's Montana and North Carolina. After School Child Enrichment, or ACE, is Ohio. Education Scholarship Trust Fund, South Carolina. Education Freedom Account, that's New Hampshire, New Hampshire. Um, and then there's homeschooling programs such as Open Ed, or used to be called My Tech High, Harmony Education. Those are things. Now I know Open Ed is available in Utah, Oregon, and Kansas. Harmony, I'm not sure what states they're available in, but those are some homeschooling programs where you basically it, it's kind of a hybrid between it's homeschool, but you report to this program, whether it's Open Ed or Harmony, and you sign up for classes and they reimburse you. I know with Open Ed, it's like up to $1,600 per kid, per student per year. But there's a lot of regulations on what you can get reimbursed for and what it has to be educationally related and curriculums and things like that. So there are some options when it comes to homeschooling, and there's a lot of support out there. Number three, selecting and adapting curriculum to fit your family. And so, first, you want to understand your child's learning style. Every child has a unique learning style. Some may thrive with hands on activities, others may prefer visual or auditory learning. Some just want to read a book. Some want to watch videos. Some want to go on field trips. Whatever, however they learn, understanding your child's learning preferences helps in selecting a curriculum that caters to their needs and enhances their educational experience. And that is one of the beauties of homeschooling is you can fit their learning style. And if you have a child who is that kind of the square peg round hole type thing, and it just public school doesn't always work for all the different learning styles. Flexibility is key. It's one of the advantages of homeschooling. The curriculum should be adaptable to your family's schedule, their pace, and the individual learning needs. Look for materials that allow you to modify and customize the content to suit your child's progress and interests. Consider your teaching style. So, your teaching style plays a significant role in curriculum selection. Some parents may prefer a structured curriculum with detailed lesson plans, and others may opt for a more relaxed, child led approach. You want to choose a curriculum that aligns with your teaching philosophy and your comfort level. Explore diverse learning resources. A well rounded curriculum often incorporates diverse learning resources. So consider using a mix of textbooks, online resources, educational games, field trips, hands on activities. It all provides a comprehensive learning experience, and this variety keeps education engaging and dynamic. Remember that curriculum selection is not a one size fits all process. It may take some trial and error to find the right materials that align with your family's preferences, educational goals, and values. Be open to adjusting and adapting as needed, and don't hesitate to modify or supplement materials to better suit your child's learning journey. We've had that experience, especially with some math curriculums We had one that we absolutely loved, and then when we hit sixth grade, they only went up to fifth grade. So we tried when my daughter hit sixth grade, we tried a different one, did not like it at all. So the next year we tried a different one, and now we're really loving this one. So find the ones that works for you. What we use personally, now this is for my kids, for our homeschooling. For math, we use workbooks, language art, and you can find, I usually share every year on my website, a to z for moms.com. I will share all the curriculum and stuff that our family uses. So for math, we do workbooks, language arts and social studies. We do a combination. We love the Little Passports USA, Little Passports World subscription boxes. Mysteries in Time subscription box. I cannot say enough wonderful things about that. We also have workbooks, and when my girls were younger, we did Hooked on Phonics. Science, we have these workbooks. The ones I really love is 100, it's called 180 Days of Science. And it's basically you have like week 1, days 1 through 5, week 2, days 1 through 5. And it has a worksheet for each day, and it's science. There's activities, there's experiments, all that stuff. I've really been impressed with the science workbooks 180 days. That same company, they do have other like math. Their math I wasn't impressed with, but they have language arts, social studies. They have all these different ones, and it's 180 days of whatever. But the science has been my favorite. For art, we do games. We've purchased art kits and art supplies. We'll do some YouTube tutorial videos where it shows you how to draw certain things. My girls love that. For physical education, my girls are involved in gymnastics, dance, and tap and cheer. And so any of those extracurricular activities, as well as the great thing about those is it gives them a good social outlet as well. So they get to be around friends, they make friends, and they're around, other kids that are same age. We also do, along with kind of the art, with local children's theater. Sometimes my girls like to get involved in a play, and so they'll do that. And again, it's another great social outlet. For history, a couple different things. The History Channel, Discovery Plus. We have a Discovery Plus subscription, and then we love books and the Mysteries in Time subscription box. I really can't say enough great things about that. We love that. We're kind of history dorks at our house. We love watching documentaries and stuff. So a lot of that is either through books or through our like the History Channel or Discovery Plus. Music. We have two apps. One is Simply Piano, and the other one is a violin. And I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but those have been great to walk my girls through learning how to play the piano or the violin. For languages, there's Duolingo. We've also done Rosetta Stone. Duolingo is my girl's favorite, and there's a new one somebody just told me about, and I need to write it down. Another language app. And then just some apps in general. Adventure Academy, that is a great app. It's online where they can play with other kids their ages. You can have chat features turned on or off and things like that. My girls love it, and it covers a range of subjects, so it's a lot of fun. And they have these little like adventures they go on or quests they go on, and they have to learn about certain things to complete the quest. Khan Academy, Reading Eggs and Math Seeds, ABC Mouse, Rosie Mosey, Kids Academy. Those are a lot of apps that we have used in the past. So that's some of the things that we have done. Now, number 4, designing a homeschool routine. First, most importantly, structure and predictability. So, a routine provides a structured framework that helps children know what to expect each day, fostering a sense of security and predictability. Now, even though homeschool you have flexibility, it's still really important to have a structure and a routine. We have a chart that we use, and we have like math is done on Mondays. My girls want to get it over and done with for the week, so they do their week's worth of math all on Monday. Tuesday is our language arts day and social studies. So they have, and on our calendar, the way we do it, is they can go and they can look at that and see, okay, this is the workbook that we need to do, or this is the lesson, or this is what we need to do today. Um, that also helps with the next one, time management. A well-designed routine helps manage time effectively, ensuring that key subjects and activities are given adequate attention. And one thing you will find with homeschooling is it takes a lot less time than public school. You have one-on-one instead of a teacher, it could take the teacher 15 minutes to get a class of 30 students all focused on the same thing. And okay, now we're ready to learn. We're learning the same thing. When you have one, it takes 1 minute. So there's a lot of wasted time there that you're not going to have with homeschooling. So a lot of times, honestly, we are usually done with our homeschooling by lunchtime, if not long before. Consistency and productivity. Consistency in daily routines promotes productivity. It establishes habits that contribute to a focused and efficient learning atmosphere. Again, having that where they know what to do, they know what's expected of them, it's going to help them stay on task. Balanced learning. A carefully crafted routine allows for a balance between core academic subjects, creative activities, and breaks, promoting holistic development. So getting that balance of everything. And sometimes we focus for a week or two, like, or even the whole month of December is all Christmas related, but it's still having that balance. We still incorporate the different subjects and the different activities. We have a whole Christmas curriculum. It's actually available on our website. It's all Christmas, but each lesson has science and history and math and all those things, so you can incorporate those along with your theme as well to still have that balanced learning. Independence and responsibility. Following a routine encourages children to take responsibility for their learning, fostering independence and a sense of ownership over their education. When they have their routine and their schedule, they can go look, and when my girls say, "What are we doing for school today?" What does the calendar say? And they go, "Oh, we have to do this," and they know exactly what's expected of them. When I was a school teacher, those were called policies and procedures. And that was the point, was you wanted to teach your students to follow the policies and procedures, and it gives that independence. And they knew exactly what was expected of them and what to do because they knew the policy, they knew the procedure, and it was less hovering and things from the teacher or parent in this case. You're not there having to micromanage them. Some of the best ways to design a homeschooling routine are to set clear goals. So begin by setting clear learning goals for each day. Identify key subjects and activities you want to cover. Consider your child's peak learning times. This is important and a great thing about homeschooling. Observe when your child's most alert and focused during the day. Schedule more challenging subjects during those peak times. If your child is not a morning person, that's fine. You can do school later in the day. If your child is an early riser, it's fine. Start nice and early. Create a visual schedule. Like we have our calendar. It's a visual schedule, easy for the children to understand. It can be a daily or weekly planner, visual timetable, anything like that. Involve your children in the planning. Encourage your child's input when creating the routine. This involvement promotes a sense of ownership and motivation. So we did this with our girls when we were planning our routine. We asked them, do you want to do, 5 subjects every single day, or do you want to have an individual day for each subject? They chose to do an individual day, like only, and I think mostly that was math motivated, so that they could get math out of the way for the week. And they knew that they could have a couple hours on Monday and they were done with math for the week. And having that input, though, that helps them take ownership of their schooling. Be realistic. Set realistic expectations for the amount of time allocated to teach each subject or activity. Avoid overloading the schedule to prevent stress and burnout. Build in flexibility. Allow for flexibility in your routine. Life can be unpredictable. Having a flexible schedule accommodates unexpected events or changes. When someone gets sick, like we've had the flu at our house, and so school was kind of on the back burner because everybody was just trying to survive, right? Or get over their cough still. And sometimes you have those things that come up. So it's important to be flexible. And then that's another beauty of homeschooling. You can be flexible. And my girls, they don't feel like they're so far behind. They're going to go back to school and have all this homework. It's easy for them to catch up. Establish a morning routine. This is very important. Start the day with a consistent morning routine. This helps set a positive tone for the day and establishes a sense of structure. Review and adjust regularly. Periodically review the effectiveness of your routine and be willing to make adjustments as needed. Children's needs and interests may change over time. This is just like your personal self evaluation. Sometimes you have to look and think, okay, am I reaching my goals? Am I healthy? Am I taking my life in the right direction? And you have to reevaluate that. Same goes for homeschool. Celebrate achievements. Acknowledge and celebrate accomplishments. This positive reinforcement motivates your child and contributes to a positive learning environment. So one thing that we do for ours is we have a magnet board. And for every hour that my girls do spend on a subject, they get a certain magnet. And for every half hour, they get a different type of magnet. And they put that on each subject. And at the end of the week, if they have at least 2 hours worth on every single subject, then they get to pick a prize out of the box. Now, for each subject, they get a smaller prize. So each subject they did 2 hours with, they get a small prize. But if they do 2 hours in all the subjects, then they get a bigger prize. So it's kind of a fun little motivator for them to make sure that they're getting everything done and putting in their time. Remember, every family is unique, and the ideal routine will vary based on your child's age, their learning style, and your family's lifestyle. So be open to experimentation and adjustments and find what works best for your homeschooling journey. Our personal routine. So every day, my girls have their self care, brush your teeth, shower, get dressed, stuff like that. Then they have their chores and they have their daily chores, and then they have their music, so piano or violin. So that's something they do every day. Aside from that, Mondays are math and PE. Right now they have ice skating and I guess they also have PE on Wednesday and Thursday. They have dance, gymnastics, and tap. And then Tuesday is language arts and social studies. Wednesday we do science. Thursday we do home economics, and then again PE as well, Wednesday and Thursday. And Friday we call Friday our fun day. Friday is our day that we go and volunteer every Friday, from about 9:30 to 12:30. And then we spend the rest of the day doing just fun activities. A lot of times that becomes our art days, craft days. We'll try one of our little projects that we have lots of fun things like makeys or whatever that the girls can pull out and do fun stuff with. Okay, last but not least, activities and adventures for learning. Nature exploration and outdoor learning. So take learning outdoors by exploring nature. Create scavenger hunts, identify plants and animals, engage in hands-on activities like collecting leaves or studying rocks. Nature walks, hiking, and outdoor observations provide rich opportunities for science and environmental education. Educational field trips. Plan educational field trips to museums, science centers, historical sites, botanical gardens, or local businesses. Many attractions offer educational programs or workshops tailored for homeschoolers. Field trips provide that real world experience and complement classroom learning. Hands-on science experiments. Conduct hands-on science experiments that make learning fun and memorable. Use household items to explore scientific principles, such as creating a volcano. I'm sure everybody remembers doing that in about fifth grade, making a homemade volcano. Experimenting with simple chemistry reactions, such as like remember on Wreck-It Ralph, you had the Mentos and the Coke, and that's a super fun one we did with our kids. They had so much fun learning about that. Observe the life cycle of plants. Planting a garden. We have a brand new gardening curriculum that just got added to our website, a2zformoms.com. You can go get that gardening curriculum and they can learn all about life cycle plants, companion planting, everything like that. Science experiments foster curiosity and critical thinking. Literature-based activities. Build activities around literature to enhance reading comprehension and creativity. So create a book themed project, reenact scenes, or engage in discussions. One of my favorite memories from kindergarten was when we read The Gingerbread Man. We read that book and then we all made gingerbread cookies. And the cookies got stolen or they disappeared because the gingerbread man ran away, and of course they were just being baked in the cafeteria. But it was such a fun activity reading the book. I still remember wandering around, in kindergartners. You're going to all the classes looking for your gingerbread men, and then the lunch ladies bring them in at the end when they're baked. But having something like that, taking the book and doing that, the cookies and all that, was just a lot of fun. You could do a lot of stuff like that. Learning how to make cheese, or, there's the Stinky Cheese Man, or there's all these different books and activities that you can do. Even virtual visits to locations mentioned in the books to bring stories to life. My son had an Oculus that was so cool years ago. You could tour the Anne Frank home. And that, for older kids that are reading the Diary of Anne Frank or something, that was so cool because even it was so neat. You had these Oculus classes and you could go tour the Anne Frank home virtually. It was really neat. Project-based learning. Implement project-based learning where students work on extended real-world projects. Choose a topic of interest and let students delve into research, planning, and execution. This approach fosters collaboration, problem solving, and a deeper understanding of the subject matter. So remember to tailor activities to your child's interests and learning style. The goal is to make learning enjoyable and meaningful. Some of the things we've done: road trips, we've done parks, theme parks, like SeaWorld is a great one, a lot of educational opportunities there. Tours, science kits, and experiments. Some of their favorites are like the solar powered robot. There's a tutorial on my YouTube channel, A to Z for Moms Like Me. If you get that solar powered robot, it does something like 12 different builds and 12 different things that you can make it do, and it's a lot of fun. um, Cooking, canning, gardening, those are all life skills that you can do and incorporate in your homeschooling. DIY crafts, projects, painting rocks, books. There's so many things that we've done over the years. So many great ways of homeschooling. So I hope this has helped you with having Homeschool 101 Beginner's Guide. We've talked about pros and cons of homeschooling, options for homeschooling, selecting and adapting curriculum to fit your family, designing a homeschool routine, activities and adventures for learning. And there's so much more information. If you go check out my website, a to z for moms.com, there's a lot of blog posts, as well as check out the shop and you can see quite a few of our different curriculums. We're always coming out with new curriculums. So if you have a curriculum that you haven't been able to find, send us a message and let me know, and I will be happy to create one for that. So thanks for watching and listening and watching live. And I hope this helps you on your homeschool journey. And have a fantastic day.